Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. And the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network can be heard on many different podcast platforms, including Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify. We're on TuneIn. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Castbox. And we're on many other podcast networks. We're also on the YouTube page, Gary Williams YouTube page. You can hear me on Twitter at Digital25, and it's going on the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network page on Facebook. So lots of places you can hear the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. This week, got a lot of information for you, including a number of February schedule that's coming out this week. We also have a result for one of our returning Beltway boxers. And we also have some very interesting news from the amateur side that really hasn't been explained very well, but it for some reason it affects one of our brightest hopes for an Olympic gold medal coming up whenever the 2020 Olympics take place in 2021 or whenever. And then we have a number of tributes this week, number of tributes that have been that paid tribute to a number of legends who have left us in the entertainment and sports field. We'll talk about that and try to make those as quick as we can, but we do want to give them their justice. No question about that. Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network, brought to you as always by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain and muscle strain, everything between, Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief, now endorsed by two-time world heavyweight champion Big George Foreman. So don't forget to try his knockout formula for Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com. She has great weight loss tips, great jewelry, and great training methods. All at Deborah, Debra Spears.com. Well, our result this week took place at the Blenner's Hassett Hotel in Parkersburg, West Virginia. That's where the returning Bazooka Joe Veazey, the super welterweight out of Baltimore, Maryland. He made a successful return with a third-round TKO over Devon Fox of Washington, D.C. Veazey attacked his foe. He landed a nice left hand to the body, stopped Fox at 101 in the third round. He had knocked down Fox twice before during the course of the bout. And he went ahead and got the victory. This is Veazey's first bout since he made his pro debut in October of 2016. And Veazey's now 2-0, got his first professional knockout in this bout. And Fox is still winless at 0-5. He's been knocked out in every bout he's been in thus far. So congratulations to Bazooka Joe Veazey, third round TKO in Parkersburg, West Virginia at the Blenner Hassett Hotel. Congratulations to him. Now, coming up this coming Saturday, January 30th, will be a card at the Crown Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And on that card will be two local boxers, Baltimore, Maryland field male lightweight Mia Killaby Ellis. She'll be in a 4-round contest against Myasia Oglesby of North Carolina. Once again, Ellis made her pro debut in December 2019. Scored a first-round TKO over Unica Best in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Oglesby has lost her first 7 contests. She's 0-7. And she's been TKO'd in every one of those bouts. So that's coming up. And also in that card, the debut of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Stacy Selby. He'll take on John St. Fard of Wilson, North Carolina. Once again, Selby, very successful amateur in many years. He's won victories on the local and national levels. While Fard is 0-2, coming off a 4-round unanimous decision loss to Mikael Hernandez. That was on Hernandez, that was his name, on November 21st in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Once again, this card being promoted by the coal miner's daughter herself, the Hall of Famer, Christy Martin. So it'll be a good one indeed. That's Mia Killaby Ellis against Myasia Oglesby and Stacy Selby taking on, John St. Fard. And those are two bouts that will be on the card at the Crown Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That'll be on Saturday, January the 30th. And that'll be the last card for Beltway boxers in January. That leads us to the February schedule coming up this month, and coming month. And it's pretty busy. A number of things going on, number of bouts going on. No bouts in the area, of course, but number of Beltway boxers will be in action in February. So here we go. with the February schedule. First of all, starting on Saturday, February the 6th, this will be the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Two Beltway boxers scheduled to be on this card. Baltimore, Maryland super middleweight Sharif C3 Rahman, the younger son of former world heavyweight champion Hasim Rahman Sr. He'll be in a 4-round contest against Vladimir Jacinto of Fresno, California, by way of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Rahman is 3-0, 2 KOs, but he has not fought since June of 2018 when he won a 4-round unanimous decision over Talik Taylor in Woodlawn, Maryland. Meanwhile, Jacinto's 0-2. His last bout he lost by second-round TKO to Cameron Hills in January of last year. That was in Shreveport, Louisiana. So Sharif C3 Rahman coming back. Looks good so far, but we'll see what he had after this long layoff here. Also in the card, C. Pleasant, Maryland super featherweight James Too Slick Early. He'll be in the 6th-round bout against undefeated Rasheem Jefferson of Philadelphia. Early is 5-6. He looks to build on a 6-round split decision victory over previously undefeated as an 11-0 Curtis Johnson. That bout was on August 22nd in Bonita Springs, Florida. Now, Early could have won a minor title with the win, but he came into the bout overweight, and he had no chance of winning the title. And he ended up winning a split decision over Curtis Johnson in that bout. So he's got to be more dedicated and keep with the weight. No question about that. Meanwhile, Jefferson's 3-0. He's coming off a 4-round unanimous decision over Steve Garagaza on October 9th in Las Vegas, Nevada. This will be the first scheduled 6-round bout for Rasheem Jefferson. So, again, 2 of the bouts on the card. Sharif Rahman taking on Vladimir Jacinto, and James Early battling Rasheem Jefferson on this card on Saturday, February 6th at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, the same day, on Saturday, February 6th at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Washington, Pennsylvania. We've been talking about this card for a while. This card was postponed, and now it's scheduled to be on Saturday, February 6th. Card featuring Lusby, Maryland super featherweight Nathaniel Lee, ASAP Davis. He'll be in a 4-round contest against Johnny Spell of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Davis is 2-1, 1 KO, coming off a 4-round majority decision victory over Veron Webb on February 9th in Vienna, Virginia. Meanwhile, Spell hasn't fought since December of 2019. He scored a first-round TKO over Philip Ryan Carroll in that bout in Salem, West Virginia. They're still looking for an opponent for Clinton, Maryland featherweight Jay Stansel III. He's scheduled to be in a 4-round bout. Stansel's 2-0, 1 KO, coming off a first-round TKO over Antonio Lucane on February 28th in Hanover, Maryland. Also on the card, Glen Burnie, Maryland super welterweight Dwayne Thompson II. He'll be in a 4-round bout against Leondis Folks of Winchester, Virginia, by way of Baltimore, Maryland. Thompson's 1-0, 1 KO, won his pro debut on October 31st with a first-round TKO of Xavier Ford in Columbia, South Carolina. Folks also successful in his pro debut. Excuse me. He captured a 4-round majority decision over Adrian Diaz in Parkersburg, West Virginia, on November the 7th. Now, the busiest man on this night will be matchmaker Brian Dillon, because he's actually the matchmaker for both those cards we just talked about. The one at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia and the one at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Washington, Pennsylvania. So I don't know if he's going to shuttle back and forth. I don't know which one he's going to do, but he's going to be a very busy man that evening. No question about that. So that's Saturday, February 6th. A couple of cards there. Friday, February the 12th. This will be in Orlando, Florida. No word on the venue yet. But this will feature undefeated female super featherweight, the Dark Menace, Tiara Brown. She'll be an 8-round rematch bout against Vanessa Bradford of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now, Brown, who's undefeated, 10-0, 6 KOs, NABO super featherweight champion. She recently moved from Washington, D.C. back to her hometown of Fort Myers, Florida. She resigned as a D.C. police officer, which is weird after she won the Officer of the Year. She had a lot of problems after that, and I don't know what they were, but she had some difficulties being in the D.C. area, decided to move back home. We're still going to talk about her, though, because she meant a lot to this area, not only in the ring, but out of the ring as well. We're definitely going to still talk about it. We're going to still consider her one of our own. Now, Brown has not fought since December of 2019 when she won an 8-round unanimous decision over Simone Aparecida da Silva in Sterling, Virginia. Bradford, 5-2-2, has not competed since losing an 8-round majority decision to Brown back in October of 2019 in Brooklyn, New York. So we'll see what happens here. Friday, February 12th, in Orlando, Florida, the Dark Menace, Tierra Brown, battling Vanessa Bradford in an 8-round rematch in Orlando, Florida. Once again, no word on the venue as of yet. Then on Saturday, February 13th, at the MGM Grand Hotel Conference Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, this will be the debut bout. We talked about this last week. The debut bout for Alexander, Virginia middleweight Troy Isley. And he'll make a pro debut against an opponent to be determined. Of course, Isley, definitely one of the great amateurs coming out of the state of Virginia, and did well in the Olympic trials. Did not make the Olympic team, but he did well in national and international competition. And we're going to have a little bit of news about his gym mate coming up in just a moment. Then on Saturday, February 20th, this will be at the Doubletree Miami Mart Hotel in Miami, Florida. Baltimore, Maryland heavyweight Cortez Dunstan. He'll be in a 4-round bout against Matthew Glover of Kerrville, Texas. Dunstan won his pro debut by first-round TKO over Gary Kelly on November 21st in Tampa, Florida. Glover is 1-3, 1 KO. He's lost his last 3 bouts by TKO. So Cortez Dunstan, another guy, looked good in the amateurs, fought in the local and regional Golden Gloves tournaments, and he's doing well so far. He's 1-0 with 1 KO. That's on Saturday, February 20th at the Doubletree Miami Mart Hotel in Miami, Florida. Then on Saturday, February 20th at the Escape Ballroom in Greenville, South Carolina, Baltimore super featherweight Malik King Warren returns. He'll be in a 4-rounder against the debuting Deron Merriweather. Then no word where Merriweather is from. Warren is 3-0, all 3 KOs in the second round. And he hasn't fought since December of 2019 in Atlanta, Georgia. Also on that card will be Laurel, Maryland super middleweight Mansa Boy, the Punisher Condi. He'll be in a 4-rounder against an opponent to be determined. Now, Condi's 1-0, 1 KO. He won his pro debut with a 3rd-round TKO over Ricardo Vasquez Becerril in the same location, the Escape Ballroom in Greenville, South Carolina, back on December the 19th. So, Malik King Warren, Mansa Boy Condi on this card. Saturday, February 20th at the Escape Ballroom in Greenville, South Carolina. Saturday, February 27th at the Shrine Exposition Center in Los Angeles, California. Upper Marlboro, Maryland super middleweight Alante Sliza Fox. He'll be in an 8-round bout against undefeated Jose Arando Toro Resendiz of Compostela, Nayarit, Mexico. Now, this bout was rescheduled after Fox was actually suspended in California up until the 20th or sometime around that time. So they had to move the bout to the 27th. That got him off suspension. He's able to compete in it. And, of course, Fox, that bout we're talking about, was a 10-round unanimous decision win over Marcos Hernandez on December 26th at the Shrine Exposition Center. So he fought a great bout there, had to face some adversity, but he came back strong in that situation. Resendiz is 11-0, 8 KOs. He'll make his American debut after competing in all of his bouts in Mexico. Resendiz stopped Joaquin Murrieta in the 8th round in January of 2020 in Tepec, Mexico. So, Alante Fox, an 8-round bout against Jose Arando Toro Resendiz of Mexico. And that'll be on Saturday, February 27th at the Shrine Exhibition Center in Los Angeles, California. Then finally on Saturday, February 27th at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. Well, maybe they'll get this bout off this time. We don't know, but this bout has been postponed numerous times, and looks like it may happen this time. Columbia, Maryland super middleweight Ashton the Goon Sykes will be in a 6-round contest against undefeated Alexis Espino of Las Vegas, Nevada. Sykes is 5-3, 1 KO. He's still trying to extend that 3-bout winning streak that included a 4-round unanimous decision win over the previous year undefeated Isaiah Hart on March 7th in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. Espino's 6-0, 4 KOs, coming off a 6-round unanimous decision over Del Vecchio Savage on February 29th in Frisco, Texas. So hopefully this bout will finally take place. It's been bounced around all over the place, and it looks like it might take place. That's on Saturday, February 27th at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. So that is the schedule for February. And again, we're going to be pretty busy. No question about that. Again, a shame it's not busy in the Beltway. But things happen. Things are happening, and that's why. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. Now, we have some amateur news. And this is kind of distressing a little bit. We've been talking for the last few months, ever since the Olympic trials, way back in 2019. We've been trying to figure out what was going to happen once the COVID hit and the games were postponed originally. We're trying to wonder whether one of our boxers, Alexander, Virginia boxer Keyshawn Davis, originally from Norfolk but trains out of Alexander, Virginia now. Keyshawn Davis, of course, made the U.S. Olympic team. And all he had to do was qualify for the games by winning a couple of matches during a tournament somewhere in the world. But as the coronavirus hit and they postponed the games, at first we were wondering whether or not Davis was going to turn pro. But then he made a statement saying he's going to try to once the everything passes over and they're going to do the trials. He was going to go, not trials, excuse me, but the qualifying tournament. He was going to still try to do it. So he was going to definitely stick with the amateurs and try to make the Olympic team. Well, USA Boxing seems to have made his decision for him. USA Boxing has removed Keyshawn Davis from its Olympic qualification team due to the violation of the USA's boxing athlete selection procedures. Now, USA Boxing unfortunately did not elaborate on how Davis violated procedures. The statement only wished that the best of luck, they wished Davis the best of luck in his future endeavors inside and outside the ring. That's all we have. Another local boxer is on that Olympic qualifying team. That's Amelia Moore. They were in camp earlier this month, so preparing for the qualifications for the Olympics. But Davis is off the team, so he's going to go ahead and turn pro. No word on when. He will still be trained by Kay Karoma, who is the assistant coach of the U.S. national team, but he's been working with Davis throughout. And, of course, Karoma also worked with Troy Isley. So whether or not Davis will be ready to make a pro debut on the very same day Isley remains to be seen. I doubt it. I don't think it's going to happen. But it's kind of weird. I mean, again, we don't know what procedures he violated, why he's off the team. But again, and the sad part was Keyshawn Davis was one of our brightest hopes to win a gold medal. A lot of people thought he would be the first Beltway boxer to win a medal since Clarence Vincent won his bronze medal in 2000. But it looks like it's not going to happen. So, in fact, we know it's not going to happen. USA Boxing has removed him from the team. It looks like Davis is going to turn pro in the not too distant future. Wish him well. He's going to be good. Going to be a good pro. No question about that. So that's the story on Keyshawn Davis. Now, our tributes for this week. We had a lot of legendary people pass away over the past week. Really, over the past week. In fact, just today we learned that Hall of Fame basketball coach, college basketball coach, one of the great coaches of all time, John Chaney, who coached for many years at Temple University, won a national championship with Chaney State University in Philadelphia. He has passed away. He passed away at the age of 89. Just celebrated his 89th birthday. And he was a no-nonsense coach. No question about that. Coached some great players, basketball players. Mark Macon. He coached Mark Karsher, Nate Blackwell, just to name a few. And he was an outstanding coach. And I'm always indebted to him because, like many legendary coaches, they have coaching trees. And many younger coaches learned under them and went on to great things. One of the ones that did was one of my all-time favorite coaches and a guy I had the pleasure to work with for almost 20-some years. His name, Ron Fang Mitchell, who was a longtime head coach at Coppin State University. And, he won, Mitchell won MEAC titles. Of course, he had incredible year in 1997 when the Eagles upset University of South Carolina in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And that was always to be his shining moment. But he learned under the John Chaney tree. Fang Mitchell did. So definitely a tough loss for college basketball. We've lost two very strong coaches in the last few months, starting with John Thompson II, the longtime head coach at Georgetown University, and John Chaney of Temple. So our deepest condolences to the Chaney family. And just very tough loss there. Now, just after we went off the air last week, we talked about Hank Aaron's passing. We did a tribute to Hank Aaron. We learned that one of the really strong character actors in television passed away. This is a guy that was in a lot of great roles, on some very good TV shows, and he was really a familiar face to a lot of people. And in fact, that day I did tributes on Facebook, my Facebook page, to Hank Aaron and to this man. And Gregory Sierra, we're talking about, got more comments and hits on his tribute than Hank Aaron did on his. I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, Gregory Sierra passed away at the age of 83. He was really a tremendous actor. A lot of people know him as Julio Fuentes, who was the next door neighbor of the Sanfords on Sanford and Son. He and Lamont were the great friends, and he always got under Fred Sanford's skin, Red Fox's skin. But he and Devon Wilson's Lamont character, they were the best of friends, and it was a really good relationship there. He moved from Sanford and Son to play Detective Chano Amengual on the TV series Barney Miller. And there's a legendary episode where Chano shoots two robbers, and although it was a justified justified action, he still felt very bad about it. It was a legendary episode of Barney Miller. And by the way, he was in a legendary episode of All in the Family. He played a Jewish man in All in the Family. An episode of All in the Family prior to him being on Stanford and Son. Many people know him from movies like Deep Cover. I also remember him as El Puerco, the guerrilla leader who kidnapped and then fell in love with Jessica Tate on the TV series Soap. He was great in that show. He also, for the first 4 episodes of Miami Vice, including the pilot, he was the first commanding officer of Crockett and Tubbs. He played Lieutenant Lou Rodriguez. And he actually asked to be taken off that show. So his character was killed after just 4 episodes. That's when Edward James Olmos, who knew Gregory Sierra, came in and played Lieutenant Castillo. But he was the original commanding officer on Miami Vice. And also, I've seen him. I'm a fan, and this show has just been on the internet over the last year and a half or so. Show called Insight. This was a religious show, but I tell you, they didn't bash religion onto your head. But it was really a dramatic series that had some elements, believe it or not, that made it feel like the Twilight Zone. Believe it or not. I mean, great storytelling in there, great writing, great acting, had some excellent actors in the show. And a number of the episodes are Insight on YouTube right now. Just go to Paulist Productions and you can see it. It's a beautiful show. And Gregory Sierra played in 3 of those. I remember one in particular called Hey Janitor, where he played a janitor who turned out to be Jesus Christ. Didn't really say so, but you could tell just based on how the episode went. And it was a great episode. He was wonderful in it. He was the star of that show. He also did one I just saw not too long ago called With Time Served. And it starred Gregory Sierra and James Ferrantino. And also Christine Belford was in the episode there. He played a prisoner in that show. But he was a great actor. Just tremendous actor. And we're going to miss him. He died of cancer at the age of 83. So Gregory Sierra, tremendous actor. No question about that. Then comes word that we lose couple of stalwarts as far as acting is concerned. One of them was Cloris Leachman. Cloris Leachman passed away at the age of 94. And we know her from many, many locations. Of course, the majority of people in this country probably know her as Phyllis Lindstrom. Phyllis Lindstrom, who was the landlady and the madcap neighbor of Mary Richards on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And then she would later get her own show called Phyllis. And it was a wild show. And I saw a picture recently of Mary Tyler Moore, Valerie Harper, who played Rhoda, and Cloris Leachman, who played Phyllis, all hugging each other. And the caption said, "Together again." They're all three of them have passed away now. And it was a lovely picture, no question about that. But Cloris Leachman played in so many roles, and I don't know all of them. For example, she won an Academy Award for her role in The Last Picture Show in 1970. She won 8 Emmys overall. Now, one of the ones she didn't win an Emmy, she should have, but she didn't probably. You may know her. A lot of people forgot about this role, too. It's kind of interesting. But she was Mrs. Fremont, the mother of Anthony Fremont, in the classic Twilight Zone episode, It's a Good Life. That's the one, if you don't know. Billy Mooney played Anthony Fremont, a little boy who would send people to the cornfield if he was mad. And Cloris Leachman played the mother of Anthony Fremont. In fact, they did that episode. It was called It's Still a Good Life on the 2003 updated Twilight Zone. I believe that's the one with Forrest Whitaker. They did an update on that as Billy Mooney as an adult, and also Cloris Leachman was still in it. So it was great to see that. If you are a Mel Brooks movie fan, you know Cloris Leachman because she was in 3 of Mel Brooks's movies. She was in High Anxiety. She was in History of the World Part 1. She played Madame Defarge in that movie. But she's probably best known for her role as Frau Bucher, I think that's the way, Frau Buchler, on Young Frankenstein or Young Frankenstein. And every time I saw a clip of that, and I hadn't seen this movie in so long, I'd forgotten about this. But every time they would say her name, a horse would whinny. A horse would neigh and whinny. It was too funny. Just great. So, yeah, Cloris Leachman was in that. She worked really up until the last couple of years of her life and was a tremendous, tremendous actress. She was in Malcolm in the Middle. She won 2 Emmys for a role as Grandma Ida on Malcolm in the Middle. And she won 8 Emmys overall. Only other person that's won as many Emmys as Cloris Leachman has was Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who has won Emmys, I believe, for Seinfeld and definitely for the TV show Veep. So a tough loss there. Cloris Leachman dies at the age of 94. And if that wasn't enough, we lost another true icon by the name of Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson passed away at the age of 96 years old. And she was actually just on TV last week. She did an interview with Gayle King on CBS This Morning, promoting her brand new memoirs, Just As I Am. But what I always loved about Cicely Tyson was that every role that she was in, it was a role that had dignity and grace to it. There were no silly roles with Cicely Tyson. Even in comedy, she had no silly roles. Of course, people my age remember her from 2 roles in particular in the 70s. She was in the movie Sounder with Paul Winfield and Kevin Hooks. And she was in, of course, she played the title role in the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. She won a Emmy Award and a Golden Globe for that role. And again, I always marvel how she played a woman from the age of 25 all the way to the age of 110. Tremendous, tremendous acting performance. Definitely deserved that Emmy. She was also nominated for an Oscar for Sounder. She lost to Liza Minnelli's role in Cabaret. Now, before that, though, She played in TV, many TV roles. But she was the first African-American woman to play a recurring character in a drama series. She was in the TV series East Side, West Side. And I've seen a couple episodes of this, and why it only lasted a year is beyond me. She co-starred with George C. Scott. Great show, really was. Why it only lasted a year, I think it was way ahead of its time. That may have been the case. But East Side, West Side, Cicely Tyson was in that role as well. Again, there's just so many roles that she played in. Of course, a lot of people forgot, and I don't know why, but a lot of people forgot that she was Binta, the mother of Kunta Kinte in the original Roots. She was LeVar Burton's mother in Roots. A lot of people forgot about that, because Maya Angelou was also in that scene. She's only in that first scene when Kinte was born and then became a man. But she was in that role. She was very good in that role. She was in so many other great movies, and she reminded me a lot of one of her contemporaries, Diane Carroll. Diane Carroll passed away last year, I think it was, yeah. And they both played their roles with such grace and dignity and class. And I thought about she's earned the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama in 2016. She got an honorary Oscar, and I believe it was in 2019. I think I wrote down 2018, but it was in 2019. And for me, I always thought that was kind of insulting because she should have been an Oscar. She had glory of an Oscar years prior to that. But she earned an honorary Oscar. She was the first African woman to win an honorary Oscar. But she was remarkable. She really was. And again, up until the moment she passed away, everything was done with just grace, class, dignity, power. She was something. She was something to behold. She really, really was. Cicely Tyson passed away at the age of 96 years old. Tremendous, tremendous actress. We will definitely miss all those people we've talked about today. But it's been tough. It really has been tough the last few days. All these legendary people passing away. So those are my tributes to some great people: John Chaney, Gregory Sierra, Cloris Leachman, and Cicely Tyson. Well, that'll do it for another edition of the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. Remember, Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network, is brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. FreePainOffer.com. Buy $10 worth of real-time pain relief. Get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. And by DeborahSpears.com. Great weight loss tips, great jewelry, and great training methods. All at Deborah, Debra Spears.com. Thanks for joining us. My name is Gary Digital Williams, and we appreciate you supporting the Boxing on the Beltway Podcast Network. Look forward to another edition next week. Until then, thanks for joining us. Always remember, keep supporting the best boxing in the world. The boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.
By Dale Coley.